All right, folks, welcome back. It is day 57 with Duolingo Chinese. 欢迎大家好. Right. Welcome. Today is day 3 for unit 13, so this will go pretty quick. Let's review now the pinyin for unit 13. Right. Do we have 2 sets of things? No, we don't. We're still in 1 unit so far since our review. Okay. So unit 13. Let's do some pinyin. Talk about past events. Well, we do have some past phrases. Like见了 should write a little bit more cleaner. That's a subtle improvement. 见了 认识了 认识了 No 是认识了 No 认识了做了 for some things, and in contrast to that 会见 right? 会见 认识 still 认识 I don't know about 做 as well. There's also the notice about 坐在, so 在被坐在 so 会住坐会住在 something, but no 在了 no 在了 not 在了会做possibly 会做 sounds fine. 认识 I don't think that makes that's kind of weird. It's kind of like becoming or will become. I don't know. We'll see. So then there are other like makeups. We have 去年 that's special. 去年今年明年 I'm writing it this way because we also have 昨天 however is 今天 今天 and 明天. Right, so these are swapped out right here. To save some space. There's also像个这个 and 下个 right 像个这个像个这个下个周末星期星期日 I'll just say 星期日 oops in quotes 日 you can insert a day right 日星期日 that's about it for that too. And下午中午下午 right yeah 晚上 I think really those are new. Oh. 今天different types of phrasing would be so 天 and 天 oops 天 or 年 maybe 年 ooh we don't know about that 年 so 天 plus 上午 a part of the day right maybe 今天下午 I think that's good for our review. That covers pretty much all of it. It's like a combination of all these things. I might have forgotten something. Let's see. 去 Oh no, 去年 forgot that 去年 yeah that's everything. Yep. Now let's wrap it up.
加
Finish. 加 personalized practice. Yeah. 你是哪国人？你是哪国人？
你是哪国人？学
老师是哪国人？老师
是哪国人？
马
啊，对，哎，号码。李老师是哪国人？李老师
是哪国人？马加哪多
？Okay, that was a little weird.
号
Tate. 他们是学生吗？
他们是
学生吗？
学生吗？学生鱼饭面。
他是哪国人？
他是
哪国人？
哪国人？加哪号多马？
王老师是哪国人？王老师是哪国人？
哪国人？
他的电话号码是8765吗？
他的电话号码是I don't remember the rest. 876 maybe 8765. They're just counting down 8765. Right. Make it easy, but it's hard to cluster numbers still, like a sequence of numbers.
他
电话号码8765
吗？是。他的电话号码是8765吗？
他的电话号码是
8765吗
？8765吗？对，对，他们都美国人，他们都是美国人，
对，他们都是美国人。
OK， 他的电话号码是8765吗？8765电话号码。
电
I was thinking of 点 as in day, the time. 电
多
我不吃面，我不吃面，也不吃饭，也不吃饭，不吃饭。
我不
我不吃饭，
吃饭，
我不吃饭，也不吃面。I'm actually kind of curious how the boos are. 不吃，我不吃饭，也不吃面。Instead of 不吃 okay, 不吃 interesting. And oh, I got the two reversed. That's fine.
店
It doesn't actually matter to me. If you said it in the reverse, the meaning is still the same.
这条裤子有一点短，对不对？
这条裤子，
这
条裤子有一点短。这条
裤子有
一
点短，
对不对？
对不对？这条裤子有一点短，对不对？
这条裤子有一点短，对不对？
鞋饭面画店
all tone, almost all four tone.
贵
马拿
加拿
多
多 oops
短
我不吃面，也不吃饭。
Okay, fine, rub it in. 我不吃面。No, 我不吃面。
我不吃面，也不吃饭。
我
不吃面，也不吃饭。
Hang on. At least I can see it from here. Really? Huh. 我不吃面，也不吃饭。Someone's on a keto diet. Just kidding. Sorry. 这件夹克有一点贵。Or not? 这个 oh yeah 这个 wait no where is it 这件 yeah 这件夹克有一点贵 okay it's fine nothing out of expectation 他们是学生吗？
他们是
学生
吗？
他的老师的电话号码电话 just 电话他的老师的号码
你他的律师
Where are you?
老师
的
电话我的律师
律师
Oh,
电
电话。
话
Oh, wait. We are looking for deal. I'm like, what the? I keep thinking phone number. Okay. That is my phone number. That is my phone number. 那个是我的电话号码。
那个
那个是我的电话号码。你是学生吗？你是 Where are you? Oh, 你们 okay.
你们
Alright, fine. Y'all. 你们是学生吗？
吗？
Yes.
我
不吃面。我不吃面。
面
吃 Where the heck is 吃？吃 Oh, wait. Oh,
不吃
不吃面。我不吃面。
也
不
吃饭。
吃饭。I can see why. That's a little awkward. If you have 不吃 lumped together, it sounds a little better than 吃饭. But it's kind of like all of them together, really. All right.
生多
Okay, I get it. I totally get it now. Okay, calm down.
我不吃面。
我不吃面。
也不吃饭。
不吃饭。
生
短
电学饭面话短鱼饭生学面。
Okay. 他们是学生吗？
他们是学生吗？
哎，
多
拿 Sorry, wrong tone. 拿马
加
他的老师的电话。
他的老师的电话哪个是我的电话号码？那个是
那个是
OK，
我的电话号码。
我不吃面，也不吃饭。
I know. I got it. I got it the first 4 times. I got it. Watch me get this wrong.你们是学生吗？
你们是学生吗？
All right, now back to our unit.
分，他上午在医院。
Oh, I should include Fen. Fen is standalone, so we're gonna end up forgetting it. 他上午在医院。上午May. Oh, I totally skipped May. Oh, I should be careful. I did skip May. May everything. I did forget something. I forgot May.
你下午在哪儿？
Okay.
你
下午在哪儿？
下午在
哪儿？
哪儿？
末。
我爱每下午，每个下午，我爱每个下午，
每个周末。
周末 Whoops, I said 下午。周末 weekend, not afternoon.
下。
他们每个星期天晚上吃面。他们
每个星期天吃面。
晚上他们每个星期天晚上吃面。
他们每个星期天晚上吃面。
周
下分午晚
多。
他的妈妈每天喝茶。
他
的妈妈
他的妈妈
每天喝
茶。
Oh, right. Forgot about the grammar point.
都
喝茶。Right. Don't forget that. 下
晚
午 No
分
No sound sample. No sound sample either.
学生中午见汉语老师。学生中午见汉语老师。
学生中午 What?
学生
中午
见老师。上午学生中午见汉语老师。
见汉语老师。
汉语学生中午见汉语老师。
对，学生中午见汉语老师。我每个周末见我的英语老师。
我每个
周末
见
我的
英语老师。
Okay, that's fine. Sure. Implied. You don't have to be that specific.
上午8点45分。
下午
上午8点45分
45分
上午8点45分
上午8点45分45分So having a little bit of a time 会 That's a typo
你昨天下午在哪儿？
你昨天下午在哪儿？在 no need for 会 for 了在哪儿？昨天下午昨天下午明年我明年会见我的女朋友 or it could just be 女朋友 but we'll see where are we 我明年见会见我的女朋友对
我的弟弟今年住在伦敦。
我的弟弟今年住在伦敦 Yeah no laws no ways right. 我的弟弟今年住在伦敦。今年，
我的女儿明年会住在英国。我的
女儿住在我的女儿明年 Really
会住在我的女儿明年会住在英国。
Okay, never mind. You can add the Okay. That's fine. 住在
英国。我的女儿明年会住在英国。
Okay. Alright. And this is for contrast? 他去年住在纽约。
他
去年住在纽约。
我上个周末见了女朋友。我
上个周末见了女朋友。
我上个周末见了女朋友。
上个周末 last weekend and then 见了 past tense 见了女朋友。Where were you yesterday afternoon? 昨天下午你昨天下午在哪儿？
你
昨天 昨天，昨天下午，
昨天下午
在
哪儿？
哪儿？对，
晚分周末左。
She will see her boyfriend next Friday. Next Friday. Yeah, we remember these phrases too. So, 下个星期五，下个星期五会见她的男朋友 or just 男朋友 I mean let's see what they go with
他
下个
星期五会见
男朋友 Okay, fair enough
会末周去美
她的丈夫下个星期会在纽约。她的丈夫
星期六会。
她的丈夫下个星期会在纽约。
下个星期会在纽约。
纽约，她的丈夫下个星期会在纽约。她的丈夫下个星期会在纽约。
星期会在纽约。她的丈夫下个星期会在纽约。Okay. 上个no last 昨天 wait no 上个 yeah 上个他上个星期二做了什么？
他
上个星期二做了什么？
做
了
什么？
我去年见了我的学生。我去年见了我的学生。
去年。
我去年见了我的学生。
见我的学生。我去年见了我的学生。我去年见了我的学生。
他上个星期二做了什么？他
星期二，
他上个星期二做了什么？上
个星期二做了
什么
？Sophie，
你们下午几点喝咖啡？
你们下午几点喝咖啡？几点 ？Right？ 几点？ What time do y'all drink coffee? In the afternoon? 下午。你们下午几点喝咖啡？几点喝咖啡？5
分。
你们上午几点喝茶？
你们下午几点喝茶？几点喝茶？你们几点喝茶下午。你们下午几点喝茶？
末。
我的女儿明年会住在英国。
我的女儿明年会在纽约。女儿明年
会住
在
纽约。我的女儿明年会住在英国。
英国。
纽约，老
Just
婆
kidding.
老婆，英国。
没。
给
玩
去
美
午
会。
他上个星期二做了什么？
他上个星期二做了什么？
他
上个
星期二
做了什么？
做了什么？他上个星期二做了什么？
左末周分晚。他们每个星期天晚上吃面。
他们每个星期天晚上吃面。晚上每个星期天晚上。
我去年见了我的学生。
去年今年晚上。
我去年见了我的学生。
见了
我的学生。我去年见了我的学生。
我去年见了我的学生。他每个周末都 just 每天。Oh, interesting. That might be a grammar point too. I was just watching one of your daily Chinese videos and clicked your Twitch link and you happen to be live. Oh, hello, welcome. How's it been? It's been pretty good. 很好。How are you? 我是很好。Are you learning? Are you language learning as well? 我也是很好。Nice. How are you how are you going about learning Chinese? Is it Chinese? Chinese as well? Okay, okay. How are you going about doing it? Right now, I'm really into this show called Three Body Problem. So if you want to watch some a show that is available, oh yeah, and you have Twitch Prime too. It's on Twitch Prime, by the way, if you're interested. Back in 2021, I learned a little German, and ever since 2022, I've been learning Chinese nonstop. Okay, mostly been using Anki. Yeah, since you have your, not sponsored by the way, but when you have that icon, your Twitch Prime icon, you can Three Body Problem, the Mandarin Three Body Problem. That's what I've been watching lately. If you want to watch like some science fiction, some contemporary science fiction. It's very topical right now. Three Body Problem is a very topical show. I'm on like episode 11. Yes, I heard about that show from even Chinese natives saying it was good on a street interview I watched. Yeah. Pretty. The Netflix one, the English Netflix one, did perform just as well actually. So it's pretty awesome to see two different cultural interpretations while at the same time the show itself is cross-cultural. So like it's kind of like a Godzilla moment actually, like Japanese and the United States, like Hollywood Godzilla and a Japanese Godzilla, they kind of cross even if they're like culturally from different things. So I really enjoyed the Netflix one. I am halfway on the Chinese one. It's quite a different take, and it's lovely. It's like one of those things. They release the shows mostly within each other. It isn't the whole like, oh, this is the OG kind of. So there's like you can compare and contrast cultural things quite a bit. There are English representatives and like other things in the Chinese, and vice versa. Have you been getting an opportunity to use your Chinese since you've been working at it for like over 2 years? Definitely would check it out. I have so many C-dramas to watch. Oh, that's understandable. No. Okay. Hear me out here. Hear me out. I know you started learning Chinese like over 2 years ago, but tell me, did you make time for the TVB Journey to the West? Although I think it might be originally in Cantonese, but you can probably have it. You can probably hear the dub over in Mandarin. It's probably in Cantonese, but there's got to be a Mandarin track. It might actually be in Mandarin. I'm not quite sure if it was in Canto or Mandarin. You haven't watched any C-dramas yet? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Journey to the West is the Monkey King thing, but it's a personal. It's like a childhood thing. It's the most stereotypical thing that like a second gen Chinese American would talk about, because if you get any form of Cantonese exposure or maybe like Mandarin dub over exposure, it's probably Journey to the West. It's like a 19. The TVB one is like 1996. Oh, you only mostly watch YouTube content and Chinese streams? Oh, okay. Fair enough. What interests you about Chinese? Like what is it? What is it that captivates you? Like what? Give me like a few spotlights of your multiple years. Just a few spotlights, whatever comes on the top of your head. I'm not gonna assume they're your favorites, right? I'm putting you on the spot here, obviously. Like whatever comes to mind first, like how it feels. Maybe it could be something that happened yesterday. Oftentimes I take recency and then go backwards. A year, many years, many things can happen. Let's see. Does he meet his family every weekend? 他每个周末 每个周末。每个周末认识，no 见 ，sorry 见他的家人。Although you could say it's a different way, really. The main thing that made me obsessed was just how beautiful the language sounds. Oh, that's interesting. You love the tones, and I genuinely feel like it's the best part of the language. I got really deep into Chinese bands and music last year, so that just made my interest in the culture and language bigger. I see. So what kind of Chinese music have you? I usually make this kind of a joke. If you're into like soft core music, then that's Chinese music. Or yeah. Like I don't know, you might have done a lot of digging about the type of music that Chinese like bands and stuff and music from China. There's an enrichment because of like how culturally in touch the perception of things that come from China are. So when I always generally do this joke where like, oh yeah, what kind of Chinese music do you listen to? Ballads with the piano accompaniment. Oh yeah, ballads with a piano accompaniment. Oh yeah, pop music with ballads and a piano accompaniment. I'm obviously making a slight joke, but there are you would, if you really like the music, there's a lot of it, like a lot of a specific type. Occasionally you might be able to find like a band, but it's like a rock band or something, and then it'd be like soft rock with maybe a power ballad. A power ballad. A lot of math rock and punk stuff. Okay, bands like okay. Oh, I'm not familiar with Prune Deer. Not familiar with Chinese football either. I'll have to check them out. 1 second. Something to listen to this evening. Chinese football. That sounds like a punk band. Yeah, Chinese football sounds like a punk band. Yeah, indie rock. Okay. Interesting. I don't actually know what the math rock means. Like what does math rock actually mean? I've heard that multiple times now. Math. Some of these are Hong Kong. Yeah, they're likely Hong Kong. So when it comes to like Chinese proper, indie stuff is usually probably Hong Kong-ish because of cultural things, cultural norms. Lots of cultural norms. Oh, I like their cover on some of the stuff. Modern jazz, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. So math rock, modern jazz. I like it. Oh, you know what? You could kind of say the stuff that I listen to is kind of like that. Well, hold the phone. I'll go and take a listen. And before I like jump the gun. But on the Japanese side of thing, I would generally describe the music and the way the lyricist sings is also jazzy rock. And I didn't realize there was a term for that type of thing. Huh. And then the pop scene a lot in the Asian side of things, at least I'm in the United States, but across the other shoreline, across the ocean, they have this element of jazziness nowadays in their pop scenes. So like even if you had like, I don't know, electronica or something, there's still elements of jazziness in their electronica. Or like you have a ballad, there's still elements of jazziness. Like even if you look at like a really popular band like YOASOBI in Japan, it's quite jazzy. There's a lot of like jazz element. I think that's kind of the new age topical trend right now. So it's good. It's great to be a fan of that at the moment. At least I feel like every song just seems to be a little bit jazzy, and it's quite a bop. I'll check out a prune deer in Chinese football. I'm intrigued. What does GDYB? You should check out the. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. Let me ETJYB Square Soul. Okay. I'll take a check on music. Their name is fully Chinese, is an acronym for their name. Oh, okay. Sounds I'm trying to guess what they might be. I feel like GD would be like a location, like Guangdong maybe. They're from Hong Kong. Okay. Oh, Shangang. EDJ. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I don't even know what their name is. Oh, it's perfectly all right. It's in traditional. Okay. Yeah. But the JD, the GDJYB would be like pinyin extrapolation. So I was thinking of all the pinions that would line up with GD, kind of like a region name, and then maybe like Shang Jin. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we're almost done with our lesson here today as well. This is our last lesson, and then I have to learn all the Hanzi, but the Hanzi is pretty simple. Yeah, welcome Chinese. I'm second gen Chinese, by the way. I'm like American. I was born and raised American, so I'm in ABC, in American born Chinese, second gen. As in, my parents are the ones that immigrated to the United States. I speak Fujianese. I don't know if you have heard or consumed any content where they talk about dialects. Generally, my parents are from the Fujian area, so I speak one of the dialects, Fujianese. I speak Fujianese like constitutively to my parents. My parents prefer not to speak in English, or they haven't really learned English. Fujianese accent is beautiful. One of your favorite dialects. So you have heard Fujianese. Where have you heard it?你gatiner 태안고 태안들 후지와. 你有没有가 New York? 你有没有가 New York? 태안들 나 I don't want to ask where you are, but I was asking where have you heard Fujianese? Are you like in somewhere or near somewhere that's Fujianese? Because online content is very slim for Fujianese, so you would have to be okay. Maybe like some viral stuff, or the 2 or 4 creators that stopped making content, but I saw their videos, which were pretty funny because most of that stuff is relatable, and they are just the way they talk and stuff. They are likely second gens as well. I try to find some content about Fujianese from China, and you could use your Chinese to log into Bilibili, the Chinese site, right? And find Fujianese that way. If you ever want a excuse to use your Chinese and want to read something, Bilibili is not great in English. I don't even think there's an English. You can use like attempt to use the Google Translate function, but if you think you have enough Chinese now, Bilibili would be a fantastic place to find more or less similar things like YouTube stuff for Fujianese. You immerse myself every single day with Chinese content. It's kind of an extreme obsession at this point. I know so much niche and cool stuff. Okay. Well, you should check out Bilibili. I think Bilibili has very, very niche stuff. My literacy is pretty bad, so I'm like trying to develop some literacy. You can kind of get away with just hearing the stuff. I've tried to create an account, so there are so many times, but you can't since I'm American. Yeah, exactly. You have to like okay. We're not gonna talk too much about this, but you would have to like VPN, right? You have to do something like that. Yeah, that's one of the downsides. Like the reason why I say ABC is because it's very difficult as an American. You do have, is that what is it, WeChat and something else? I forgot. Own something. That looks like Xiao Hong Shu. Oh, is that? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, Xiao Hong Shu. Red Little Book. I haven't used Little Red Book, but Xiao, yeah. Xiao Hong Shu. Like I have those characters, but WeChat, interesting. Chat. The only reason I knew the left one was WeChat is because of chat, but it's only because it has the radical for talking in it. The right one makes sense. I was more confused by why it's called Red Little Book, but that's perfectly. The left one though, that's interesting. Thank God I was able to get Hong Shu because it's been really nice for immersing with fully Chinese content. I like Instagram and Pinterest. I see. Interesting. Do you ever plan on visiting China? Do you know anyone who happens to be Chinese? Or anyone you speak to who happens to be Chinese? If you're in the United States, there is a chance. If you live in California, you'll probably encounter like Asian groups and whatnot and go visit Asian groups, like Asian gatherings and stuff, and make a friend or two. I used to be friends with someone who spoke Cantonese, but we don't talk anymore. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So you do plan on visiting China? I have not visited China myself yet. In my midlife, I'm like half. Some might say I'm in my midlife right now, my middle age self. I have not visited China yet. Okay, let's finish this. 每个周末见他的就是见家人吗? Okay. Yep. You never know when they're going to be specific or redundant, but if you look, it's fine. 他每个周末见家人吗?我今年见王老师，认识了王老师。That's fine.
我
今年认识了王老师。Students see the teacher at noon. Okay.
中午
学生中午见学生中午见汉语老师。 汉语
汉语老师
Okay. Oh, we'll just send a gift over. Okay. So, I wish I had people to practice with so bad. I've actually never been able to practice my speaking ability very much. The most I've done is go into the Chinese Voiceover on VR chat. I was too nervous at the time to even say anything, so all I did was murmur 我是美国人. When someone tried to talk to me, this was a year ago though, I didn't have that much confidence. Still don't, but yeah. You gotta initiate. You gotta initiate. Do VR chats not have places for language exchange? Maybe language exchange? I feel like Chinese people are very... I'm not gonna be too general. I feel like there is quite a demand for language exchange between Chinese and English. Yeah, I would probably look into that. At least in my opinion. I can't speak for like Japanese and all the other, but in terms of Chinese to English, language exchanges are really common. Actually, Chinese people kind of not saying too much, but I think Chinese people get really excited regardless of how shy you are when it comes to talking. I'm not sure about Japanese and stuff. I haven't really attacked that yet, but language exchange for Chinese people and English, that's kind of a incredibly high demand pragmatic thing. You don't know why you ever thought of that? Well, that's why meeting other language learners can be helpful, you know? I hope you find one. I hope you find one. Language exchange. Let's see.
45
星期四
星期四
You walk around saying 我是美国人. I would probably do the same too. Actually, my parents say it for me most of the time. 他是美国人. Like 他说中文吗？一点点。我说一点中文。
星期六
星期六
45 12号
12号
星期四
星期四
5点半
星期四
45
45
星期四
I'm curious, do you find Duolingo to be worth your time invested? I used to use it for German back in 20, but after the major change they made to the site, I actually stopped using it. I've mostly been only using Anki and videos to learn Chinese. You're like really into it, so in the end, if you're really into it, anything works, in my opinion. So for me, I chose Duolingo because lots of people know Duolingo, for better or for worse, and I'm making content. So, and all the other things you can't really stream. I mean, you can do Anki if you want. Anki is more or less the same. Like, what I mean is the content creating side of things, you can most definitely just I did not use Anki because I'm going to do other things that are very flashcard related. They're very flashcard related. And then Anki. Now Anki is a mixed bag when it comes to what you end up doing with Anki online. So there are people who do stream content with Anki. Anki is decentralized. It's a very decentralized type of thing, and I want to make content where it is relevant to people to inspire them to do more. So when you start up an Anki thing, well, most Anki people, I would say, for lack of a better thing, can be a bit serious, and they also don't interact with you. That's what makes Anki really great. The thing that makes Anki quite great is also the thing that makes people less interacting with each other. So Duolingo has a community. If I could stream Bushu, I would try Bushu. If I could stream Wanikani, I would probably try Wanikani too, or like the Japanese side of things. I think Anki really does well with people who are independently driven, right? Because they have to go out, look for the things, customize the things to their liking, and then be able to know how to find things. Duolingo does the opposite of it. It selects for people who don't quite know what's going on, wants to try something new and experiment, but they might not necessarily go out of their way to elevate or level up their language learning. So for me, I'm using Duolingo. I'm just going to complete the Duolingo courses. That's kind of the semantical goal. But at the same time, I'm using these steps to show how I would go about staying regular, staying progressively not bored of things and whatnot. So that's kind of what I have been for the last 160 days. I might try again just by watching. I can tell it's improved from what it seems. That's cool. Oh, okay. The Chinese one? Oh, yeah. The Chinese one, the biggest change happened in 2024. So like right at the end of 2023, and I started in February of 2024. And when I was reading back the updates, the biggest change to the Eastern courses, like the Eastern language courses that are earlier, like Japanese and Chinese, the biggest change were to those courses. Yeah. In fact, in my day, I can imagine, because I was told those sections didn't even exist. The sections I like the most. The most, in my opinion, the most underrated, as in people underrate this section, is probably the section that is the newest. And in my time, like I only started 57 days ago on the Duolingo Chinese course. They're not updated at the same time, by the way. There were already two major changes, and it's swapped up the way I look at things quite dramatically. And it's really fun to adapt to all the changes. So they're actively updating. It happens once a month. It generally updates on the first week of each. So some people don't like it that it keeps changing up, but in my opinion, if it keeps changing up, that just means they're actively investing. Whatever the change up is, you just learn how to extract more information from it. I like this because this is a pretty mellow way of doing things. I think this might be not for people who are incredibly impatient. So if you don't love language as much but want to like get over the hump, right, being competent, then probably not. That's probably the first thing to go. Anki is more of a pace setter. You can set your own pace for Anki. You can't. Not really. You can skip all the stuff though if you want. But that's the one thing you can do. You literally could start it and skip all the way to the end because your level already exceeds it. Right now Duolingo is suggested to have 1,350, like 1,300. They have about 1,300 Hanzi, and they're simplified only. So I don't know if you've ever learned simplified, but if you're really obsessed with Chinese, I mean, why not? I imagine you know mostly traditional at this point, but it's just another dimension. They use pinyin and simplified. Oh, mostly so. Oh, so you didn't dabble yet into traditional? Okay. I'm sort of a poser right now because I think there's a lot of things that I can feel out about Mandarin that I tell people, like there's something about grammar that flows naturally because I spend a lot of time in Mandarin. So right now I did skip over certain things, like implicitly understanding some grammar rules and whatnot. So that's kind of a head start kind of thing that I'm piecing together. You know barely any traditional? Oh well, you'll be right at home then. You'll be right at home. I was completely illiterate. So when it comes to Mandarin, I'm completely illiterate until 57 days ago. So now I'm less illiterate. I probably know more vocabulary. Oh, that's nonsense. Let's learn together. I spend most of my time writing. I like writing things. So, have you ever wrote anything? Like wrote a journal or something? I like journaling in target languages.
45. 星期日。12月。
12月。
24。星期四。
Your listening and reading ability is probably your best. Yeah, I find that's what Anki reinforces a lot. So reading and listening skills are the input dominant. Yeah, input dominant. Definitely. So so this is the the Hanzi section. Right? That's what they added largely. And where I am, I guess we're writing 400, maybe. We're close to 400 characters. And then 400, we're gonna say about like 450 vocabulary words with these 400 characters. And you just sit there and you hit the practice button again and again and again because I really like it. And then I do something else. I mean, if you watch any of the videos, I have certain schedules and like I go about doing stuff. So there is a substantial amount of time where I'm not actually doing any Duolingo lessons. I'm doing things with Duolingo, but not the lessons themselves. 星期几 I need to fill in these boxes today, so I'm going to do that.
星期二。
星期几
星期四。几岁？星期二。星期六。星期几？
星期二。
星期二。
星期几？
星期七。I'm curious, what other languages do I know? I've been studying Japanese for a little over 160 days now. So there's that. I speak Fujianese, right? English, and I have not visited Spanish again. I used to study Spanish in high school to college. Nowadays, Spanish is like you log into an online video game and somebody would spam some like Spanish language, you know, they would yell at each other in Spanish or like argue about something. That's probably as much Spanish that gets stored. So, however, I do plan on staggering Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, and Spanish indefinitely for the future. I will only engage in Spanish again once Chinese reach fundamentals. So Japanese have crossed the fundamentals. So now that's why I'm staggered with Chinese. The moment I feel like I've grasped the fundamentals, like reached a lower intermediate state, then I'll go back into Spanish. And I made it the way where the one that I'm least familiar with is the one I started with, which was Japanese. And then Chinese is less, it's much more familiar. And then Spanish is really familiar because I did spend 2 or 3 years, and it's largely reviewing 2 or 3 of those years. And Duolingo actually has arguably, debatably, a strong Spanish course. It is one of their flagship courses. So it's arguably comparable to the English one. The English one is like the English one. So I don't actually know which English course is I wonder how the tier system works. So I don't know if you knew, but in English, you know, the English courses are different. I think maybe for each language, each like common language. So you have to select your language, right, before you hit English. I'm kind of curious if they change between the two. Oh, just so you know, if you change your target language, if you change your common language to Chinese, to Mandarin, there is also possibly a shorter course. I haven't touched it yet. There's a shorter course on Cantonese. So like if you switch your target your common language, the Duolingo common language, to Mandarin, there is an option for Cantonese. I haven't looked at it yet. So I haven't looked at it yet. But your common language has to be swapped to Mandarin. So eventually I will probably do that for fun on the side, because I do have a lot of ear training for Cantonese. I just don't speak it very often. People don't speak Cantonese, not too often. We do have some family friends who speak Cantonese a little bit here and there, but it's usually Mandarin. Yeah, so you could dabble in that if you want. You might be able to pick something up. Like for example, in English, right? In English, if your common language is set to English, the course on English is intermediate English. So what I mean by that is, I actually think, depending on your common language, their English courses might be developed in different extents. So I'm guessing like maybe French people who are taking using Duolingo, if they are using Duolingo for English, might have a different experience from, like, say, someone who's Chinese or Japanese, right? So they might encounter the same like deficiencies that most English speakers get told from native speakers from Chinese or Japanese, right? Because they'll be developed differently. So lots of times, like learning Japanese on Duolingo, it has a lot of shortcomings because Japanese and English really conflict with each other a lot of times, like in a mechanical way and in like cultural way and all that stuff. However, I don't think the distance between like French and English would be, and also they would have the people who learn English then would have to, in my opinion, switch to English to take the English course on Duolingo, because I think the English course, learning more English, using English, is like the dream. learning your target language to use your target language to learn more, in my opinion, is the dream, right? Or at least that if someone asks me what is my goal, probably to be able to engage in a target language enough where I just largely use the target language. Yeah, Jasper again is the complete opposite of English. Yeah, it does swap things around quite a bit. Mandarin, less so, right? Mandarin, a little bit less so. Until you start asking questions, and then you're like, it still feels relatively at home, at least for myself, biasly. I actually sometimes say English questions in the way Chinese say questions. So that happens everywhere. Yeah, so there you go. Mandarin grammar is surprisingly not that difficult, at least as a yes. Yeah, it shouldn't be, at least in my opinion. I can't really say that for sure, because since I am Chinese American, what I feel normal might be a little bit under representation of other people. However, I don't find it that much of a stretch. You do not have to worry about grammar, more so get used to wanting to speak in tonality, right? It's not to say that in an English speaker, I said this quite often throughout all my videos when I was listening to the synthetic voices on Duolingo. In English, you produce all those sounds. You produce all the tonality that's required for Mandarin. The thing is, now they are functional. So you have to consistently produce the same tonality, which English people do that. Only with specific words though. Like so if you can shift your tone with all your common words, then you then adjust that to all the syllable sounds in Mandarin. Like the word bro. I say that often because I've heard all 4 tones of bro. Just like sentences that are questioned basically auto do the rising tone. Yeah, the rising tone is tone 2. Yeah. So, but you can get even closer. I use this example all the time because this is all I hear people say now. Right? So, bro, they don't say this. So no bro. However, they do say bro. Bro. Right? I know bro is a little weird. Bro, they don't not a lot of people flat, but this is also why Japanese is tough for English speakers, because you have to stay flat quite they have to stay flat quite often. So I wouldn't give it, like, people don't, like, you know, when you pronounce things, like, you don't say you want to end your sentence going up and down, as opposed to saying, oh, like, always talk flat in one octave all the time, regardless of the like no tone change the whole time. Yeah, like there's no English where you would literally sound like a robot, right? And that's where that humorous thing is like, oh yeah, do you want to speak Japanese? Sound like a robot first. That's the like awkward nature between like English and Japanese mix up. So outside of this tone, you have all these tones. People say it all the time. Bro, all the time. Or yeah, usually if you're not a bro kind of guy, you use yeah, right? Yeah. And there you go. At least that's my, I don't think it's as scary as some people may think. Not that I'm advocating that you should learn Chinese, just as long as you're interested.
星
Yeah.
期
星期几？
星期二，
星期二。星期。I like the way you think about tones. Well, you gotta be creative, right? Get creative, and then you make friends, and then maybe they'll be your speaking partner. You can invest forward in someone, right? You can learn Chinese together. At least that's what I'm trying to do. I like to try my best to figure out as many different ways while doing this, obviously. While doing this, to figure out like, oh yeah, don't get discouraged. You gotta have fun. And if someone says like, oh yeah, I used to learn for a year ago and then I dropped it because it got so and so, it's like, let's think about it. Let's brainstorm. Let's not make it a negative feeling, right? Language learning, being surrounded by different languages is a natural state that I am in, and I don't think other people should not be in, because the internet is filled with content that almost doubles and triples the moment you start casually, if not maybe seriously a little bit, engage in other languages. Like I very much watch like my dream, I have a soft spot for shows that actually have multiple languages. So science fiction often takes that opportunity. So really well developed science fiction, they tend to use like a universal amalgamation approach where like everyone, all the different languages collide, right? So what happens is then you have characters who are, you have a cast of characters that are eclectic. So then you just have people speaking in multiple languages, not one character speaking multiple languages, but different characters interacting where they speak differently. And then science fiction can kind of tweak it a little and say, you just have to use your imagination. They have a universal translator. Sometimes they go the route where everyone speaks the language that their target audience like. I really enjoy games that, here's a fun, I know, I'm not sure if you're into video games or anything like that. There's a fighting game series called Tekken, right? If you just look up their intros, like all the intros of the game characters, every one of the characters speak their native language. I really like little touches like that. You don't have to understand the language per se, but you can kind of feel it in your interest. Most of my YouTube things, oh, you play Tekken 7 a bit? Yeah, they keep all their like native tongues, right? They and I really like that. You don't have to understand everyone's language, but it's kind of fun hearing the different things every once, so that it doesn't become very discomforting, at least in my opinion. It may make someone less insecure about speaking and hearing in a different language, like in a different environment. I am no stranger for sounding very, very weird. I think I shamelessly try to output language regardless of my competence. And I think people who are shamelessly passionate about outputting language, they can inspire other people to do so too. And that's nice. I think that's a win. That's a win for language learning. No need to be perfect the first time. No. No. Sure. How often do you study nowadays? Like what I mean is how often do you do study sessions, as opposed to, do you do any study sessions as opposed to immersing? Because at some times at some point you don't really technically need to have study sessions. You can continue to immerse actively, and then that itself becomes sufficient for learning.
12号
But you did mention Anki, so I imagine you have some sort of plan, self-evaluation. Maybe Anki takes care of all that. I know Anki uses an SRS algorithm of some sort. 12号 12号
星期
星期六、星期二、星期几？
上午 I know hardly any vocabulary as the downside of mostly only focusing on. Oh, okay. But you can feel the grammar, you can feel the sound, so that's really helpful. That's what I'm working with as well. I call myself this is my euphemism, right? I call myself a immersion baby. And there's something you can't replace as a product of someone who immerses a lot. So you can at some point you can leverage this stuff, right? Finding like characters and words and stuff that meets your feelings. And that's kind of where I am too. It's very exciting when I can finally put letters and characters and stuff to all the things that I feel that are very normal. I only do Anki on occasion, but I honestly need to do like full-on long study sessions where I learn more characters overall. Main reason why I'm still a beginner. Oh, that's perfectly all right. I mean, because you're still enjoying it, right? If you find that you have enough time and room to increase the workload, always a bonus. Burning out, though, puts an end to that dream. So I personally think if you are so obsessed with it now, even given 2 years, you can definitely have enough enthusiasm to strap down for a little bit longer study session. I feel like burning out basically closes the dream for a lot of people, where their motivation gets sapped dry because they went a little too hard, right? Went a little too hard.
每个
Is this your first outside of Germany? Outside of German? Do you speak other languages by any chance? Like, are you from a multicultural background? Yeah, I hope I never burn out too. Burnout is the worst. For like hobby things. For voluntary quality of life activities, burnout is probably one thing that will put an end to that very quickly. And it's very difficult to recover from a burnout because the opportunity passes, the mindset passes when you recover from burnout.
每个
上午
每个
上午现在
每个40一次
上午
上午I can only English and a little Spanish. I can almost fully understand Spanish and I can't speak it. Oh, interesting. Tiny bit of German and Japanese. Okay. Did you grow up with family members who are Spanish? Or are you doing like the second gen thing where, yeah, everything goes in perfectly fine and then you respond in English? Okay, I see. Yeah, that's what I mean by immersion baby. That is how I'm describing. It's my euphemism for immersion babies. Second gen, like second gen-ish diaspora kids, where they will have a language that goes in as an input, and it's like all well and dandy, but the output is like, well, I don't really have to output anything, so I'll just use English. Yeah, so that's why I asked, because if you're American and you voluntarily choose to learn a second language, then there's a very, very high chance, not saying everyone obviously, but there's a statistically high chance that their parents probably have spoken more than one, right? You wouldn't be here talking with like really similar perspectives and mindset otherwise. Like my parents, I said that I speak Fujianese, but since Fujianese isn't taught like school and written and stuff, technically I'm still illiterate, right? Like this is why I'm learning Mandarin right now, and Hanzi and stuff, because you don't need to require to do it. However, since my parents decided not to learn English like formally and speak English, I ended up retaining how to output Fujianese. So that's just serendipity, not necessarily because we foresaw that it's important to keep Fujianese. It's largely because I wouldn't be able to speak to my parents in any other way possible. So you still have to speak Fujianese. Yeah, so that's kind of how that worked out. Yeah. Although my parents do get, you know, your classic okay. You know, okay. That's good. Busy is a good one. Busy. They nailed busy and okay. And no. Very loud. No and stuff. Yep. That's it. Mega.
哪个？
上午
Just like your grandma? Oh, okay. I'll have to pick your brain when I start Spanish again sometime. Yeah, people are excited. I'm excited too. Lots of people had talked about Spanish a bunch of times, and I really I enjoy Spanish. Spanish is a beautiful sounding. I do listen to occasionally like the more traditional native Hispanic and Hispanic Spanish, of course. The more like Latina inspired music, like traditional Latina, like specific Latina. We're not talking about like rap and hip hop and stuff, that adoption. I really like even Spain inspired things. I quite like the sound. It kind of reminds me of when I listen to Italian opera. You get into the mood and then you just listen to it. It's like the language is very beautiful. Not that other languages in opera form or whatnot aren't as beautiful, but just you get so used to the stereotypical exposure. So Italian opera would be one of them, right? Italian opera. And then you have your sultry, like Spanish-oriented things like salsa and cha-cha and whatnot. Mainly a lot of Carmen. Lots of Carmen. They do a lot of Broadway things that are in Spanish. Spanish-inspired Broadway shows. So that's probably where I got my enthusiasm for Spanish very, very early on. You don't mind Spanish music? I wouldn't be able to message or speak in Spanish back, not gonna lie. Well, we can learn together. You can learn vicariously because you've already heard heard so much of it since I was a baby. Yeah, that's understandable. You know what I hear when I was a baby? Have you ever heard traditional Chinese opera? They don't call it Chinese opera, but that is the English interpretation of how I would describe it. That is what I heard almost my entire childhood. but listen, when the female singer starts hitting some notes though, that's when the female singer starts hitting some notes, my hearing is way too sensitive. And this is back in the day. I don't know how old you are, but This is back in the day when I don't think audio quality could really be modified really well. So you hear like crackling and streaking and stuff. It's like, it is very much like opera though. It's like the octave singing and the command. I'm not a professional singer or anything like that. I just know that some of the stuff really overlaps with what you hear in opera, especially Italian opera. It's kind of beautiful. It's haunting. Yeah, hauntingly beautiful is what it's like kabuki in a way, but not necessarily in the singing capacity, but like Japanese kabuki performances. It's very haunting. It requires a very acquired cultural investment to see how hauntingly. It's kind of like interpretive dancing, right? If you go to like ballet and stuff, you gotta be, it has to resonate with you. Or going to an art gallery and looking at paintings and whatnot. Maybe not so modern art, but classical art. And it also drives a kid insane when they have sensitive hearing as a kid. Because that stuff is loud. It's very loud. And then outside of that, mostly ballads. My parents like listen to ballads nonstop. Just constant ballads. It's okay in this day and age, in my opinion. I think it's even better this day and age because all the media is like recorded well. So then you can modify the media, right? So that your ear, like people who potentially have too high sensitive hearing can appreciate it all the same. But I swear sometimes those singers they be cracking glass. It's impressive. I know for sure it is impressive to be able to do that, but when they hit like sub harmonics, my eyes start cringing. Like my eyes start closing a little because I think my ears are gonna ring out of register or something. It's impressive, very impressive.
上午 上午
I can only imagine how loud low quality yeah. They were VHS. Actually, you're starting to remind me, like the way you like talk about things and whatnot. You kind of struck me as someone who's maybe like outside of the VHS generation. I might be, if I'm gonna try to like take a ballpark, we might be separated by like a decade or more, probably. So I don't know VHS. Oh, you have cassettes? Oh, okay, so we're closer than you. Actually, we are closer. We might actually be in a similar generation if you have cassettes, because I had cassettes too. Then there were the the Sony Walkmans. You have a vinyl collection. Ooh, classy, very classy, very classy. A vinyl collection. You're still young, maybe with some mature taste. I'm 37, by the way. I'm a millennial, true blue millennial. Most of the millennials are gonna be turning like 40 soon. No. I predate the internet. Not a lot of people can say that these days, huh? Imagine predating the smartphone. You're older Gen Z? Okay. Yeah. But you have some eclectic and mature tastes. My friends, my best friends also collect vinyl. Vinyl is heavy as heck though. Transporting vinyl? Yikes. It is a very interesting hobby nowadays. Yeah, they're so expensive too, indeed. Indeed.
每个
下午
So you can read all of these stuff, right? Very niche hobby collecting. Yes, because of the digital age, right? And then the whole like environmental footprint and all that stuff. It's kind of a tough situation. There are a lot of things not working against that kind of thing. I myself, due to my lifestyle choices, I typically have not participated anymore in collecting things. Because I have a potentially unhealthy relation. Materialism, like how to collect things. It can get a little out of control. So I have conditioned myself to be grateful and privileged for not having such a hobby at the moment. I do collect sentimental gifts, like sentimental knickknacks, and they're priceless. However, in the day of like collectible trading cards, right? Trading cards, plushies. Oh my gosh, there's so many, like video games in general. Back in the day, can be a lot. But luckily, I got myself out of that. Oh, okay. Because I spent way too much money at one point. Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Now, if you have a lot of expendable income, and maybe you are transformative in those things, by all means. But man, that was for me, it was non-sustainable. I practically have less. Back in the day, I had owned practically less life things, like, you know, kitchenware, food, furniture. I had more collectible things than I had furniture, right? Or things you actually use for a living. So that's usually where I cut the line and said, yeah, maybe this lifestyle. I'm talking like almost 1K on collectibles in like 1 year. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. I had friends who the vast majority of their living space was dedicated to collections. Like, it's not like so there's a difference between Hoarders, you know, an episode of Hoarders where it's chaos. It's just you walk into an expensive place and there will be a library. They have a personal library, that kind of thing, where it would be organized, but it's a lot. You need room for those. You need to build bookshelves and you need to organize them, make the display cases and seal them away and stuff like not my life would be very, very different if I embraced that lifestyle. It could have been different though. I mean, you could have, instead of being a language learner, I could have been like a hobbyist who makes and paints miniatures, or could have been different. So I chose the different lifestyle. I'm sure you're thinking of that as we speak as well, figuring out the right balance. Preserving stuff is really expensive. Yeah, it actually gets okay. Expensive, maybe not just maybe monetarily it can get really expensive. Also, it is hecka expensive on your time when you have to transport those. So if you had a lifestyle, you know, like a young lifestyle where you move from place to place, maybe you go to different college, then go to a graduate school, transporting those things and then redoing it's a nightmare. I'm a briefcase liver, so I live like from a briefcase, from like a suitcase, and if I had to transport something, it would fit in a sedan and I'm good to go. That's largely due to the digital, of course. So most of my assets are backed digitally. Oh god, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna transport your stuff. Buy a house and stay in it for the rest of your life. Although that's easy said than done, especially in the United States. Buying a house is almost like unfathomably unachievable at this point, until something changes. Now we're talking about like real life stuff like economics and whatnot. But having a place, you know, owning a place would be probably a very reasonable start a collection.
上午
Oh, otherwise you're gonna be U-hauling all the time. 上午
中午这个
每个
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 So do you... I'm so happy I got better on spending money and stuff. Congrats. That is such a... It is something to be happy about it. And it is also another thing to see the value in being, you know, improving on spending money. Right? That's a very, very nice. By the way, so you can read all these things, right? Like... this is fine as I'm like doing this stuff. This stuff is pretty... When you say basic, I don't know what you mean. So I'm sure this stuff is fine. Only 3 of these. Oh, interesting. Okay. If you're here, right? If you're saying only 3 of these, I think Duolingo can... I think Duolingo can do something. Like what I mean is Duolingo can be useful where you are. Like what I mean is sometimes when people are already advancing to Anki, it's a natural place where they've probably already passed for something like that. Like I don't think Duolingo has much to offer for anyone who's already like really ironed out and developed their Anki approach, because naturally what it does is if you already have an approach that works, you don't need something else to tell you another approach that works, unless you're interested in it. Like for me, I would be interested in Anki only because it would offer something different to use, not because the content is any more difficult or less difficult. That I don't have a problem with. So like if you go to like a different app, I'm more interested in how they get you to learn. The content itself is going nowhere. I could sit down and go just take a dictionary and, you know, use a textbook or something and just extract the information, as opposed to needing all of this. So I like using tools and stuff because other people are using these tools, and I like to highlight things that maybe, much like other people who go around saying, oh yeah, you know, Duolingo doesn't do this. I agree. Duolingo does do this. Most people don't see it that way. When they see something that is bad, that overshadows everything. So oftentimes I would use tools for what they can do, so then I can tell people, oh yeah, I agree, this is what they can do. The people who like Duolingo, and then the people who don't like Duolingo is that you're right, this is what they can't do. Now the question is, do the people who like Duolingo know what Duolingo can't do? Because confirmation bias is very powerful. Placebo effect is very powerful too. And then nocebo effect is equally as powerful. So when you focus on the things that it can't do, because maybe it's not designed to do so, then of course it's a bad thing. Because all the things you want, the tool you're looking at doesn't do it. So that is good information. That's the stuff that I like to share, right? If someone comes up to me and say, oh yeah, your pronunciation doesn't feel natural. It's like, well, yes, because Duolingo use synthetic voices, and they're training on novel synthetic voices instead of the common Mandarin available voices. They might be actually copyright struck, or they might be like intellectual property disagreements. So things like that, yes, it's true. So, but the idea is when someone tells me what it doesn't do, I can also tell them what it does do, right? What it does do. And for example, Duolingo doesn't teach you how to have conversations. That's, if you're looking for that, then it doesn't teach you. Like don't look for something that it doesn't have, right? Exactly. And that's what I'm doing. That's basically what I'm doing. So I do things like play video games and stuff and find out what it does do and what it doesn't do. Does it hurt me that it doesn't do those things? No, I can do them elsewhere. Will I share that? Maybe, if I can. And then that's about it. Yeah, Duolingo can help you a lot. And if you're curious, most of the words and vocab I know are like conversational. Don't know how to word it, but I know, yeah, I don't know much of that. I know that I can hold a conversation. Yeah, I don't like know words for different kinds of words. Yeah, I agree. I understand what you mean. Yep. Yeah, conversational is the product, the really big advantage of being an immersion type of person, because you will hear those things far more frequently because there's a natural order to them, right? Saying, hi, how are you? I like this. Oh, do you want to go and hang out for a little bit? Let's go grab something to eat. Not specifically what to eat, but just the idea of going out to eat, right? 你吃什么, right? 你会吃什么? Most of the time, learning Chinese is learning to listen and learn the like pronunciation and flow of words and sentences, the flow of speech. That's fair. That is definitely for you, maybe most of your time. Oh, I misread. Yeah, most of your time is listening to and learn the pronunciation flow of words. Okay. Yeah, and for me, I think this is where we have like almost a complete separate but overlapping goal, and our overlapping goal is to understand Mandarin. However, I'm specifically really focused on the thing that my immersion doesn't help with, which is learning how to read and write things outside of context. If you know what I mean. So like, I don't know what part is morning. I don't know what part is every. I don't know what part is once. I just know that if you say this phrase, it expresses good morning. So like, as in I just said yes, I'm awake, but it also means and express it's good morning. I'm here now, right? But here, what you're doing is you're breaking it all apart. You're like, oh, well, this little tiny phrase might also mean this and that. And that part I enjoy about Duolingo. Not that it's kind of the opposite. Like, I have enough context in my life. I don't really need any more context. Japanese is a whole different story because I don't have context for Japanese. But I'm using English to provide the context for Japanese. However, in Chinese, I have the context. Like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I would say. And then someone, when I don't know what the vocab is yet, but the moment they say it, it's like, oh, it's kind of like when you go to the hospital. So, 医院, right? 医院, like, 你去医院吗? Right? So did you go to the hospital? Right? Or you went to the hospital, right? Or did you went to the hospital? Do you go to the hospital? That kind of thing. But in the end, when you say those things, you're already expressing, you already know that person is expressing that. And whether it's super accurate or not, the meaning goes across. Now, when you're doing Duolingo and maybe even Anki or maybe something else, you have to get in touch with how exact are you? What are the different parts and how do you move them out? And it's a different way to engage, at least in my opinion. And it also is why, in my opinion, my experience is that most people get really analytical about this. And that might not be a wonderful learning environment for someone who likes to immerse in things, because then it becomes more of an exact thing, and it's not that friendly. It really isn't, unless you're used to it, right? Sit down, write a paragraph with correct grammar, sit down, write like 10 of the same characters over and over again until you could write it, that kind of thing. Might not be for everyone. I can tell you I'm still using Duolingo because that's what Duolingo does. It does the thing that I no longer do. It's ironic, I know. The fun thing about Duolingo is the thing everyone hates about Duolingo. At least most people that it encountered that talk to me is it's the thing that like this matching thing and stuff, this is the stuff that people hate. I don't know, there's something about this that they dislike a lot because maybe it reminds them of school or something. I'm a Chinese baby, so I like school. It's the repetitiveness. Yeah, the SRS is much slower. It's super slow, and it's also prescribed, by the way. So it's kind of like it's like going to school, and if the teacher is teaching a curriculum, you either like it or you don't. And because of its rigidity and it's a predetermined repetitiousness, and it doesn't account for how lazy you are or how hardcore you are and your ebb and flow from day to day, it does not dynamically adapt to your difficulty. Anki does, because Anki is fully customizable, and then its SRS is dynamically adapting in a manner that is more fluid, so it doesn't get like too repetitious when it's getting repetitious. It doesn't get too fast when you want to slow down. So that is why it reminds probably a lot of people of school, because people don't, like the teacher and your classmates and stuff, aren't going to slow down or speed up for you. You get left behind, or you're so far ahead that the school is lagging behind, so you're bored to death. That is the Duolingo way. So if it's just right, you're fine until it's not just right. So my recommendation oftentimes when people literally solicit my recommendation is that, have you started a language yet? You haven't? You can start with Duolingo. And then you use it up to the point where it becomes too repetitious. That's when you have grown out of the prescribed syllabus that Duolingo has. And Anki offers customization for that, because it is a platform with different customization. Right. You're inspiring me a lot right now, so thanks. I'm so happy to have found another person learning Chinese I can actually message. Oh yeah, we should totally, yeah, sure. I'm always on Discord, but I'm in front of my computer, so you're more than you are more than welcome to just chat. Yep. I do have I do have one or two goobers that would send things a lot of times. All right. Well, I'm gonna try to finish this now. I got it. I got your friend request.
$40.
You're gonna get off for bed? All right. Sleep well. Good luck. Yeah. If there's anything you can pull, you'll be here for the next year. No obligations. You don't, do what you can. Enjoy. I'm usually on every single day around the same time. So every single day around the same time. With a few minor exceptions. Which one of the exceptions are, I'll be away for like a weekend. Usually it's every. Yeah, take care. Rest well. Good luck. If I don't see you, I'll catch you on the next one. All right? Get motivated. Yeah, take care. Thanks for the chat.
上午
上午
中午，
中午，
一次，每个，
个。All right. Let's see.
上午，
两个， 每年，
上午，最近，
每个，
Yeah. Hey. 今天，今年，今天，
昨天，
每年，
今年，今天，后天。
Oh wait. 后天. Oh no, that's the day after tomorrow. That's fine. Okay.
今天年
今年，今天，
每天，每年，
今天，今年，明天，
后天，星期日，星期天 OK 星期天，后天，
明天，后天，
星期天，星期四，
今天，
星期天，
后天，
后天，
星期天，
今天，
明天见，
后天，
星期天，星期几
5:30 哦5点半
5点半，
50 5点半40
1点
半
50
有
一
点
5点半
半
50
5点半
50
5
no 5:30 5点半
点半
50
50
40
5点半
有一点
9点半
9点半对再见刷卡 What the heck
刷卡，
再见
刷卡
公园，
公园。
再见。刷卡。数学。同学。
再见。
同学。two。two。同学。
再见。
再见。再见。
再见。
刷卡。
再见。
再见。
女儿。再见。不要。刷卡。亚洲。
刷卡。
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 火车。I keep saying it different. You think? Sorry.
火车。
I'm trying to think of how to write it. HU. 火车。
刷卡。
商店。车票。
再见。
再见。
你呢？中文。再见。
再见。
刷卡。爸爸。
星期天。
星期
天。星期四。
星期四。
星期天。
星期。明天见。
星期天。星期四。星期六。
星期
四。星期四。
星期天。
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 星期四。
星期四。星期几？星期天。星期六。
明天
见。每天。见了。每天。见了。做了。
中午。昨天。
每天。
见了。
每天。
见了。
昨天。再见。
每天。每年。
见了。
晚上。
做了。
Excuse me.
中午。
见了。每
天。
星期。晚上。
每天。见了。也是。
上网。
刷卡。
Interesting. 刷卡。
上网。
刷卡。
不对。
刷卡。下午。不要。上网。
刷卡。
刷卡
上网，
上网
网
刷卡
英国上网，
刷卡上网 ，oops
下午不
不
要
要
刷
刷卡
上网，
网上
下午
下午
上网
上网
不长
不长
刷卡
刷卡
英国
上网
刷卡。
啊
，get more
yes 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 星期天
星
，OK，昨天
昨天，
昨天星期天
星期六星期天
后天
星期二
昨天
昨天
天
对昨天
星期天
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 昨天
昨
星期六
明天昨天
星期二星期天
见热
热
热见热
不见爱请热
见
对
热
见
见
热见
请
美好
热
热
热问见爱不
见
对
没请不见
见
热
OK
做
做了
见了，做
呢女做
见了
见了我
做了
做了
做做了
做
饭
做
见了做了
月
，get more with
哦下会下
下
下
会
下
12号
请今年
下
会
下
名叫
会下平
会会
下
会
在
在
12号
12号 ，whoops，
去年，
去年 ，probably 1 I mean 4 2
下
下
会
会
叫
叫
明年
明年
下
下
上
上午
上午
下个上午
上个
上午
下午
早上好，
中午
上个
上个上个上个
上午
午上
下
oops
下上个
上午
午
上午
上个
上网
上个
下午上午
早上好。Wait. What? I was thinking I was moving faster than that. Come on.
下午上午
Okay, 下午
晚上老公名字下午上午
上午
Okay, 上午
下午
下午
Okay.
下午
冰茶
中午上午
上午
几个
Okay. Okay.
中
午
上午
中午
上午中午晚上中文中学生
The two Jones.
上
上午
午
上午
中午
中午
中
午
下午
早上好，
中国
中国 Oops.
中午上午
明天见
明天见见
欢迎光临
欢迎光临欢迎
欢
迎
迎光
临
临
明
天
天 Oops.
天
Where the heck?
明天
见
见，
明天见。
见
欢迎光临，
欢迎光临欢迎
欢
迎
迎光临，
意大利人明天见加拿大人6欢迎光
欢迎光临，
欢迎光临
明天见，
明天见
明天见，
欢迎光临
欢
Sure
意大利人。
意大利人，呜，太早了。
欢迎光临。大，意大利。明天
见。
明天见。
圆，明天见。
天见。
加拿大人。
加拿大人。Oops。
加拿大人，意大利人。
意大利人。
欢迎光临。
欢迎光临。Oops。
明
天见。
欢迎光临。
明年。下个。明年。
今年，明年，
明年。Okay, yeah, I get it. 明年。下个。
明年。
下个。12号。
最近。
几号？
明年，明年。
下个。
明年。明年。明天。
下个。
明年。去年。
每个。
下个。
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 去年。
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 去年。Starting to lose my vigilance here.
上。明年。早上。
下个。
明年。
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 号。
下个。
下个。
现在。
现在。
几号？
上个。
上个。两个。上个。
两个。
个。
上个。
早上。晚
上。两个。
两个。
两个。
上个。
上个。
早上好。上个。
上网。
几个。两个。
做了。
做了。
见了。做了。做了。
了。
Interesting. Finishing particle. Oh, okay. Yeah.
现在。
做。
见了。
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 做了。
做了。做。做了。
做了。见了。
见。
见了。做了。
弟弟。好久不见。数学。
数学。All right. A few more. I see. 见。见了。见。
爱。见。
张。
见了。
了。
见了。
见了。
也见了。
见。
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 好久不见。
见
了。
见。 年名
OK，
上个
一个
几个
像个
几月几个
早上
早上好上个
几个几个
上个
上
上个
上个几个
晚上早上
几岁
下午下午
下午早上那儿下个月下
下下午
下午
下
名字
下个月下午台湾
好久不见，
再见
再见，
好久不见
不知道
见再见好久不见好
对再见
再见
对再见
好久不见，
好对
好久
不见
不见再见
见
再见再见
不在
不在
好久不
见对 I think come on we're so close 好久不见
好久不
对见了好久不见不
不在
不好久不见了
见了见了
见了，
见了
好久不见，
好久不见
好
好久
久不见见了
见了
好
做了
好久不见
不知道
不知道 I keep saying 我不知道
见了
了对会一会儿会
一会儿
口
会高
再一次
一会儿一会儿
会
会
一会儿
一会儿会
会
1点半
叫下一会儿
close
会
一会儿
会
茶
1点半
一会儿圆
一
会儿
会儿
，OK， 一会儿，
会
会，会，
一会儿，
会儿，
一会儿，
儿，
有，对，
再
再
一次，
一次，
会，
oof， one more，
明天见，
再见，天见，
火车站，付现金，再见，绿色，明天见，
再见，
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 明天见，
明，OK，
明天
见，
见，
再见，
在
咖啡馆，明天见，付现金，再见，好吃，
下个，几个，下个，
几点？
下雨，个，
下个，几个，
几个，
下个，
个，
下个，
，OK，
下午，
几个，
，Oops，
几个，几号？下个，
下雨，下雨。Oh no! I think I'm 2 away. Oh no, I got it. I got this.
明天，
每
每
天，
天，
明天，
明白，天气，
每年，
每年，
明天，
每天，
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 明天，
明
明天，
每天，
每
明，后天，昨天，
每天，
明天，
One more.
明天，
Oh, it might be both of them actually at the same time.
明年，
明年，明天，
每天，
明天，昨天，
昨天，
每年，
每年，
明年，
明
明年，
年，
明年，
明天，
明天，明
明天，明年，
明年，
明白，明天，今年，明年，
Okay, I think we got it. There we go. All right. So we're responsible for Hanzi. Hanzi for tomorrow. So what? Oh, this is from yesterday. Okay. So we got down to 3 characters, right? So let's write the stuff. 3 characters are non-negotiable. So let's see. Okay. So things we need to know for tomorrow. So 昨天今天明天 right? And we have ，oh wait, that doesn't cross. 去年今年明年每天每年 and we have do some practice. Joe Moore and 星期 right 星期 modify these. We have 这个这个 下个每个 then we have insert, right? So 日天 then month. We'll just use 日天 and there's e go from e r, right? 三四五六 for the days next to 日 and 天 so have use an example. Jing Tian. Right? Or 明天下午 etc. And then for this side, we got 下午 expressions. Xiangwu. Zhongwu. 下午晚上 throw in some others. 早上好 got other things. 见了 会见 right? 做了 会做 坐在 聚在 I don't know if That's probably facing the other direction. 聚在 汇聚在 yeah 汇聚在 That's their grammar thing. Wei zhuo 什么 Yeah. I remember seeing another like grammar like thing I wanted to make sure I remember, but I don't remember anymore. I think this is good enough. We covered pretty much everything. Unless I screwed up. No, I have May. May is there. Jomo. Jomo is there. Yeah. Alright. Not too bad. It isn't really terrible since there's only 3 new characters. And we try to use all the characters. We want to try to at least use all the characters. Outside the numbers. The numbers are fine. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Alright. Not bad, not bad. We're actually up to date. So, that's a wrap for today. Had a really great conversation with someone else. I feel like, yeah, that's the thing about immersion, right? Immersion's fantastic up to a point, and then you gotta combine this stuff. Gotta do a lot of other things as well. So, it was such a pleasant conversation. It's about the last thing we did, so it's lovely to hear someone so interested and at the same time also so incredibly open-minded. It's very nice to meet other open-minded people. And one of the thing about this is it's not a surprise that people are the ones that I feel that have a varying perspective on when and how they acquire another language or approach another language tend to be people who are surrounded by multiple. In my opinion, the perspective is very different. I feel like oftentimes when someone is at one language and they treat that next language like another one language, I don't personally feel like I can empathize or resonate with someone. So the take-home message here is probably my feelings and my intuition and empathy doesn't reach a person who spends all their time in one language, and then when they go to learn another language, they spend all their time in that target language. And the desire is to separate the common language from the target language in order to achieve a mastery of the second language. I think when it comes to conversations and conversation and stuff, it's one in the same, in my opinion. It's a startling difference in experience. Like when someone keeps saying like, oh yeah, but have you read manga or listened to anime without any help? And I'm like, oh no. And yesterday someone asked this question, right? And my answer to that is it's always no. No. Thanks. I'm going to be real here. It's not that I want to say it doesn't matter. It's that it doesn't matter to me, right? It can matter to anyone else. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think it mattered and no one else think it matters. But the idea is when you ask a question like, oh, do you need help? Help from what? You mean help from the language that I already know? Well, the answer is when I watch anime, I can think in whatever language that is appropriate for it. I don't necessarily think help is using something that you already know. That's kind of like the the thing that I find very difficult to answer people's questions, because when I answer the questions, I don't think they know what I mean. Or I think there's a miscommunication. But there's no other really way to explain what that means. Like, oh yeah, like, so I always wanted to watch anime without subtitles. Like, okay, I don't. Like, well, I always wanted to watch anime without English subtitles. It's like, well, I don't. I mean, I could, if, you know, I could try it. And then the answer is, oh yeah, but can you understand all of it? It's like, well, no. Like, well, can you understand everything just in Japanese? It's like, well, no. Like, can you only understand anything in English? No. The answer is no, again, right? Like, you try your best to think of everything. You're interacting with your target language. It's part of your life, right? And that target language will stop becoming your target language. It becomes your languages. So oftentimes my approach, sure, it might be slow, it might not be cold turkey, I don't know what that is, but it is writing and learning these characters, and then messing with pitch accent and messing with tones. That's like breathing. You don't have to be competent, in my opinion, personally. In my opinion, you don't have to be competent and perfect or something like that before it feels like it's a second slipper, you know, like an extension of yourself. Messing up your pitch accents and then consistently trying to change it over time, if you're doing it regularly without even thinking, like it's an opportunity whenever you're doing it, that is acquisition to me. At least that is the learning acquisition, not the proficiency acquisition, as in like, oh yeah, did you speak with perfect pitch accent, or did you speak with perfect tone or natural tone? That is a criteria you set for yourself. For me, if someone says, oh, I just love the way the language sounds, and then whenever I consume another material, I think of that language, that is what it's like, in my opinion. So when people keep asking me, these are the most common questions whenever, like, oh, did you finally separate all your languages? Like, did you finally stop thinking about English, or you stop finally thinking about X, Y, and Z, or stop doing so? The answer is no. It's always going to be no. Like, I don't compartmentalize these. It's kind of like keep saying like, oh, I need to learn the right context. It's like the context are all the contexts you learned, right? If you want to pretend like you're someone else, then yes, then that's probably accurate. You can pretend like you're in a context that you can't empathize with because you've never been in that context, right? So there is a compromise. You either literally experience it and then you can say, oh yeah, I understand that context, or you imbue what you understand in order to frame that context. It's at least agree to disagree, or have a very unusually, it's probably because I have an unusually ignorant personal experience. But generally speaking, if someone provides the context for you, that means you didn't create the context. And what you're reliant on is you hope whatever context they provide, it's a context you can relate to. If not, pretending like you know that context by removing yourself from your own context, that feels like, in my opinion, extra energy when you can channel your own context. So yes, you may never have spoken to a Japanese person directly, but you can certainly imagine yourself speaking to a Japanese person to yourself. Like, speak to yourself, have a dialogue with yourself. Somebody actually said I need to go to therapy for this because there's no such thing as self-talk, but you can elicit conversations. I mean, you could also use ChatGPT if you want, right? There are many ways too. contextualize things when you don't have the literal context. Like, you can continue to abstractly, vicariously interact with other things, certainly, right? And that's great. That isn't a gold standard, in my opinion, right? Some people might present it as a gold standard. It's all of the above. I think no matter what I do in my life, right, no matter how long I'm going to learn this language or learn other languages, it will be contextualized to me. Other people will add context to me, right? Now, you can behave appropriately, all that stuff. There are rules you obey, right? But rules are met with compromises. So if you're willing to compromise, then you seek those things and you will continue to strive for those things. And my only reservation and expression here is that I can at least, in more than one language or a combination of languages, be able to try to express that I have no desire to separate functions. Like, it's kind of a weird thing for other people to do. Or like, for me, from my perspective, it's kind of it sounds like there's a lot of energy expended to not use experiences that you have to enrich your knowledge. So it's one of those things, like that whole depiction of, oh, you have to set a part of your brain aside so that it's dedicated to another language or something. So then all the decorum and the cultural stuff is compartmentalized somewhere in your brain, and the other stuff isn't. I think that's possible for some people, maybe some extraordinary people. I choose not to, so I guess people will have to understand that in some way. I play video games because video games are a build of the summation of all my experience. The richer, the stronger, in my opinion, if someone was asking, okay, so what kind of methods are effective, right? Like, let's write this down a little bit. So how do you measure, like, there's some, occasionally there's like, how do you measure the efficacy, I don't know how to spell efficacy, that's fine, efficacy of a method when you are able to leverage your current max. And I really want to say this word, current, right? So instead of trying to excommunicate as much of your experience, how creative can you get on including as much experience as you have, as much content, as much context as you can? Like, the moment you learn a phrase, if you can imagine that phrase in as many contexts as you have done before, right? Like, you learn 欢迎光临, right? So when do you imagine yourself, when can you contextualize that as much as possible? And then you use it then, if you so choose. You can still say, oh, welcome, but in your mind, you're saying 欢迎光临, right? And then one day you're going to decide, you're going to say 欢迎光临 instead of welcome. That is contextualizing. That's permanent to you. So instead of saying, oh yeah, okay, let's never think about when I say welcome, the English word welcome, it's only 欢迎光临 now. So the active, in my opinion, the active effort of separating your languages makes it also that you tend to try to ignore all the context that you can provide for you. So, like, for me, if I need to know how to say yesterday, I would also want to know to say tomorrow and today. So if I can say those things, then if I know 昨天, if I know 昨天, I know 今天 and 明天, because in English, I know them in relative to each other. So those situations overlap. If you're telling yourself like, oh, I need to remember, like literally remember without eliciting the English or your common language, then in my opinion, you spend like half your time pretending like something else doesn't exist. I think that's where people lose a lot of times. It might not seem, I might be barking down the wrong tree or up the tree or however you say it, but generally speaking, memory is so much more stronger when you're actually thinking in the context of everything you know. Like engaging as many things you already know so that it overlaps with all the things that are already permanent to you. So if you love saying good morning, right? 早上好, just put it in there. Good morning. You say good morning, 早上好. That's it. 早上好. Over and over again. Good morning, 早上好. 早上好, good morning. Whenever you go out and say, oh, I want to say good morning right now, which one are you going to pick? Good morning or 早上好? At least that's in my opinion. So you substitute, you substitute, but you also think of them at the same time. Yes, you have to double your effort, but I'm going to be honest with you. The other effort is so much insignificantly smaller than the gains you get from remembering the phrase. When you say good morning and you think of 早上好 and you can picture this, right? You can picture this at some point. Then that effort, that less effort of doing something you've done for a really long time, good morning, that solid good morning is anchored and provide the context for this phrase. You won't necessarily even need, right, a native input that you're not used to. Now, here's the thing. I totally agree that eventually you will have to leverage this stuff to integrate into a decorum of another person, like another culture and another thing. And there are like rules that can really, really break this approach. If you don't remember the phrase, how are you gonna do it in the first place? So you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to vicariously learn all those situations and then hope that somehow your memory makes a lot, it can work. Lots of hard work and dedication, I can tell you that. Lots of hard work and dedication. Instead, I prefer to understand the manner in which they use these, right? Like, you can vicariously live. That's what the immersion part, in my opinion, is. I want to see, like, the people in their context, but the idea is you have to imagine yourself in that context with what you've got. I think a lot of times there's such a big distance between wanting to be something and then focusing on that, and in my opinion, it ends up being out of context. Like, oh yeah, I need to remember to say this. And then I think about it, it's like, you never say this. I can't even picture you saying this. It's like, well, now I got to say this. This is how I am. I'm like, no, it's not how you are. You legitimately think you're learning a new mannerism. There's a difference between learning a new mannerism and saying you are, like, you have experienced that. Like, I guess it's kind of difficult to, it's kind of like the same as I saw someone ride a bike, and therefore I know how to ride a bike. And my thought immediately is, how would you learn how to ride a bike? And what would that look like? And it would be somewhere in between, I would say. So, no, you're not going to become native, in my opinion, because you're not going to become native just by vicariously experiencing. And I totally agree with most people. Like, you will eventually have to experience it, right? One-on-one. How do you get there is what I'm talking about. What is the journey of getting there? At least for me, is making using all the thing that makes me valuable now, right? At some point I'll meet a Japanese person, who knows, that Japanese person or that Chinese speaking person would meet me in the middle. You never know. You just don't know. And when you're learning a language, we have to also keep in mind that by the time you learn a language, do you think the language will stay the same? Like the culture and all that will stay the same? Maybe. I'm going to say it's probably, I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be different and maybe even more accommodating, especially for an English speaker. We won't know. The idea is, I feel sometimes people work a lot harder, and that's cool, I suppose. People, I guess, someone already criticized me for working hard for too little. It's kind of ironic because I don't think I'm working hard at all, and that's actually kind of a concern. But they mean like I'm working hard by wasting my time. Like, okay, well, I can certainly remember things. So at least I feel sometimes people want to make sure and confirm that their hard work is the more important one, or their way of approaching things is the true way, the affirmation way. And oftentimes I see that there are people who defeat themselves. You don't even have to do anything. Eventually they just dislike themselves on how their relationship with language learning. Then me just chilling and hanging out and having a great relationship with language learning, because I'm absorbing the language into my lifestyle. I'm not trying to separate my lifestyle from the language. It's really interesting how someone can sit there and it's like, oh yeah, I must not think like myself anymore. Like, I totally get it from a cultural separation point of view. It's a balance. I think it's going to make remembering language and using the language even more difficult if you're trying to separate yourself from yourself. Like, oh yeah, you can't say things like that. Like, someone said, oh yeah, don't say "o genki desu" to someone, because you would only ask them how to say, okay, well now you understand that rule, right? And you might be thinking, what if you remember a rule incorrectly? Remember a rule incorrectly because you didn't practice the correct way. Actually, I have a thing for that too. If you remember something that's incorrect, that would suggest that you remember the correct way of doing things. So you can leverage that. That's why mistakes are so powerful. When you make a mistake, you know the correct one because you remember the mistake. It's really, I want to say it's more complicated than it sounds, but I don't think it's more complicated than it sounds when it comes to mistake. So like, the reason I remember the rule about "o genki desu" is because it came from a situation where someone said "o genki desu" is inappropriate unless you really personally know the person. So remembering things incorrectly or in contrast to what you know is also another way to remember things, right? In English, you might say yes and no, maybe abruptly and no follow-up. And because I know that, then yeah and hi is not as appropriate. You want to accompany it with something. That's how I remember those things. Not, oh, I must remember this in a void and have it no relation to myself or everything I know. Like knowing the differences between things is very powerful. Learning things in a void, maybe when you're a spry young kid with no other experiences to reference. I think the whole idea of interference is over exaggerated. I'm just gonna say conservatively over exaggerated. There are ways to use maybe similarities and differences, and then there are ways where you can treat similarity and differences as interference, right? If you're not a creative person, then that makes sense. If you don't like creating workarounds or enriching your creativity on how you can create mnemonics and associate, then yeah, it might as well be brute force and rote memory. And I think that is safe to say that some people who are complacent and use Duolingo the way Duolingo is prescribing, that is rote memory. I don't particularly think I rely on that, right? Duolingo is not telling me how to organize this information. They grouped it together, like, kind of, but I don't think it's doing that much. And I agree with you. I agree with many people. It's a shortcoming. That doesn't stop you from doing it. It's shockingly myopic to blame tools for what you could possibly do every day and to yourself. But at least that'll be the take-home message. I think, in my opinion, go out, learn the language, learn a favorite phrase or something. And then whenever you say that catchphrase, you can use the repetition nature of it to remind yourself of all the parts, right? You can associate things with things you do very often. Every time I go outside, I just say ashirimasu. Like, I run by the same key every day. Tree. I run by the same key every day. I see a lot of fanzi, right? Fanzi, you know. So have you. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be complete. The idea is it becomes basically like walking the park, right? Aruku, right? Anyways, go out, find creative ways, integrate it into your lifestyle. Maybe I'm just preaching to the choir and many other people discovered the same thing as I do. Compartmentalization sounds exhausting, and if you can make it work, you are an impressive person, at least to me, because I don't think that way. So find your way, enjoy language learning. All right, thanks for listening. That's the closing message. Thanks for chilling, thanks for hanging out. Hope you Chinese language learners are wonderful, like, you know, learning Chinese. And until next time, right? Stay safe. 再见, right? 再见. And catch you guys on the next one. Bye.